Hello everyone, Chimi here, back with another video. Today I'm going to go through my top 5 figures of 2022. Now, last year I didn't get as many figures as I normally get, but I got a fair amount. So we're going to go through what I thought were the best. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to keep in mind for this video. The first is that not all of these figures will actually be from the year 2022. Some of them were made in years prior, but I just happened to buy them this year. And the second thing is that there's a few figures that are not entering this list, and there's a reason. I'll explain why. The first is Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, the new one. The second is the Velocitron Speedia 500 Scourge, and the third is the HasLab Star Saber, or Victory Saber I should say. Those three are not entering this list because even though I have bought them, I don't have them with me. They're not currently at my house, and I just haven't been able to open them yet, so I'm gonna add those onto the list of figures for 2023. So that's not gonna be in this video, otherwise, let's be honest, Victory Saber would probably be number 1. I'm a huge Star Saber fan, so it'd probably be number 1. Anyway, let's get into the list here for my top 5 figures from 2022. Alright, so for my number 5 pick, we're gonna go with Generation Select's Artfire. I really like this mold. I have Grapple, I want to get Inferno, and this one is just something about it I just really like. I love the articulation, I love the color scheme. I mean, it's just incredible in my opinion. The white and the red go together perfectly, and the black of course. I know a lot of people are not the biggest fan of this mold, especially Grapple, but I just really like this figure. There's something about it, and the fact that it comes with a little Target Master also just really makes it a nice deal. The only kind of issue that I have with this, and actually there's two now I think about it, are that the silver paint on the head is not perfect, and some of the plastic is yellowing, which Hasbro, please fix that already. Okay, come on. We're in 2023 and we still have figures that are yellowing. Like, we've had this problem for years at this point now, and it's kind of worrying me because the part around the head is yellowing. But apart from that, the figure is just amazing. I can't deny that. And one of my favorites to pose. I just like picking him up and posing him and moving him around. It's a lot more fun than some of the other figures because he doesn't really come apart too much. The only part that sometimes comes apart is the head here, kind of lifts up a little bit, but not really an issue. Really solid figure for the most part, and as a photographer and someone who just likes posing figures in general, this one's just fantastic. Just the ankle tilt, the knee bend, the elbows are probably the only one that's like slightly limited, and it's still more than 90 degrees. So just really good articulation on this figure. I love this thing a lot. So this is my number 5. Alright, so my number 5 pick was Artfire, which had a little bit of a yellowing problem and paint problem, but other than that was a great figure. My number 4 is only number 4 for much of the same reason, and it is Laser Optimus Prime from Legacy. Now, I actually really like this figure. I like how it looks. I've always been a big fan of the G2 Optimus look. Controversially, maybe even more than the G1 design. It looks really good. I like the shoulder stacks. I just like it, okay? It's really good. But this figure is really fun to pose as well. My only problem is the shoulders and, well, some more QC. One of the eyes on this toy is painted over, and the other one isn't. And that's kind of a bummer because you look at him straight on, and one of them is transparent plastic and the other one is just painted this like light blue color, and so it doesn't look great up close, but from afar you can't really tell, so it's fine. Unfortunately, I had that little issue. Couldn't tell that that was a problem with the figure beforehand because all the boxes are completely closed. It's fine, it's whatever. But the figure itself is actually really, really good. The upper arm's too thin. So it's number 4, but it's still really good. I love the accessories it comes with, although having the sword go into the axe seems kind of silly to me, so I don't do that. But definitely do recommend this figure if you can get it. I liked it enough that I bought Scourge. I just haven't included it on the list because I don't have it in hand. But definitely a good figure to pick up. One of the best of the year, obviously, on this list. My number 3 pick on this list might actually surprise some people, and it is Generation Select's Lift Ticket. Now, I've heard some people who don't really like this mold, and I've heard some people who do really like it. I'm one of the people who really, really likes this mold. I have Hoist, I have Trailbreaker, I have Lift Ticket. I want to get the other breaker, the blue Diaclone. I want to get that one. So, I really like this mold. And Lift Ticket is actually just really pretty. I just really like these colors. I like that it says Wrecker on the side. I think that's kind of a cool detail from the original Diaclone. I like the Hoist mold slightly more than Trailbreaker, just a personal preference. So I'm glad that this is a repaint of Hoist. But yeah, this is a gorgeous figure. And again, QC issues, you know, can't really tell beforehand if they're in a closed box. I know I've already said that, but there is some paint chipping at the top of the window, unfortunately. Other than that, great figure. Again, really good articulation. That's something that I've really liked about a lot of the more recent figures, especially this one with an incredible just double knee joint. You can just bend that because for the transformation, of course. The ankle tilt is pretty decent. The only thing that hinders the articulation is this panel on the back, but I actually don't really mind. I really like this figure. This is my number 3. For my number 2 pick, this is actually the most recent figure that I've gotten on this list. I got this for Christmas, and it is Legacy Skids. You might have already noticed that this was the pick because it's missing from the shelf behind me. So you might have picked that out even before I showed it. But yes, it is Legacy Skids. This is a solid figure, even with the transparent plastic, which normally really freaks me out, especially on the newer figures. For example, like Studio Series Jazz and all of those figures with the really thin transparent plastic. This one actually feels a lot more solid. And so I don't feel as scared moving the transparent pieces around on the roof and the doors. And the legs have a lot of weight to them, even though they're kind of hollow inside. They still feel heavy. The whole figure feels heavy. It feels very sturdy. And I just like the Skids design. You know, I'm a fan of simple Transformer designs that turn into basic everyday cars. And so I just really like that he turns into this little Honda City Turbo, and he's got this simple transformation and this simple design, and he feels sturdy. He feels like he's got some real weight behind him. It's just amazing, and the amount of accessories you get with it. The Energen weapon, okay. You know, I can take it or leave it. But the other 2 weapons here, I love. And I put them together, as you can see. But, you know, you don't have to do that. I love that he has the original style guns. And it's just, I just like this figure so much. It is a blast to play with this. And again, following the trend of legacy figures and figures in the past few years having really, really good articulation. So, definitely pick this one up, or one of the repaints. I know that they have the Diaclone Burnout, which I really want to get, and they just recently leaked pictures of Crosscut, I believe, with the red wheels. I'll talk about that in a future video, but I also want that one. This is a really good mold if you can just get any version. Oh, and Crankcase as well. Forgot about that. He's a retool. So, gotta get them all because this is a really good mold, and I'm definitely gonna be picking up more. So that's my number 2, Skids. My number one pick, I'm kind of cheating because it's actually more of a box set rather than an individual figure. So it's technically 5 figures that combine into one. And the one I'm talking about is Unite Warriors Baldigus. This is one of my holy grails. I've been wanting it ever since it came out. I saw it and I fell in love. You know, I grew up watching Robots in Disguise 2001. After I discovered Transformers, I just started going back with all the shows. And this is the one that I watched a lot. I loved Robots in Disguise 2001 for the most part. There's a couple things that are kind of weird, but for the most part I like the show. And Ruination and Scourge were one of my favorite parts of the show. And so I always wanted one of these. I always wondered, like, you know, when they do Bruticus, they should repaint it as Ruination. I always thought it as a kid. And then, you know, none of the combiners I really liked, you know, growing up. They were not the most articulated. Then we had Combiner Wars, and then they had the repaint of Bruticus that I always wanted. And I'm like, I have to get it. But I wasn't able to get it back then. And the price went up so much, I was just not able to ever afford it. I thought, you know, I'll probably never be able to get Baldigus. And then a friend of mine who actually had it said, you know what, I'll sell it to you. And he sold it to me for half of what it normally goes for on eBay. And I'm like, I have to get it. So I did. And this is it. The paint is just gorgeous. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words, really, truly. It is amazing. The gold, it just looks amazing. And it has the feet and the hands like they came with Computron, with the Hasbro release of Computron, which I also have. And I just love this set of hands and feet. I wish that they would actually just release a set of these separately to sell, like in different colors, or maybe just one color, maybe just black or gray or something, so I can actually buy more. I would buy the Perfect Effect kits, but they're a bit out of my price range normally, so I would just love to have more sets of these hands and feet. But this whole figure is just amazing. Feels solid, looks imposing. It's a dream come true, it really is. I actually really never thought I would have this figure. This figure is, like I said, one of my absolute holy grails that I just have always wanted ever since it first came out. And I'm really happy to have this finally. And that's another reason why I bought Scourge. I bought Scourge because I was like, I have Baldigus now, I have Ruination. I have to have Scourge. So I had to buy it. And I did. And that will probably be a future review that I'll do or something. I'll probably do a video on those other figures at some point. But yeah, this is my number one. I don't think anything that I could ever get this year could top this as number one. There's just no way. Maybe the Star Saver. Maybe. But yeah, this had to be number one. This had to be. Alright everyone, well that's been my top 5 figures of 2022. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your top 5 were. You can comment down below, or you can let me know on social media. I actually made a new Twitter account just for the YouTube channel and for my photography. So that account on Twitter is at Adam Chimichanga. If you'd still like to comment on my personal account as well, it's there in the description of my new account. So you can go there as well if you want. But let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorites were this year. Maybe some of your least favorites as well. And you know, please, if you can, like, subscribe, share the video. And I really appreciate it, everybody. We've recently hit over 500 subscribers, which is amazing. And I know that most of you are probably here for the stop motion video that I did, and I will be making more content on that as well. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.